relaunch of the magazine. The good ladies down the kitchen says that there's a cup of tea available, one for everyone in the audience. Okay. Have your attention just for a moment, please. Tonight we have a book for everyone in the audience, but we haven't a seat for everyone in the audience. So we have a few seats up at the front, so you can start moving up and filling them up. So we'll be ready to launch it in about 5 minutes or so. And fill a few seats up here at the front. It's not the church you're in now. Plenty of seats up at the front. Okay, could we have a little bit of quietness now? Could we have a little bit of quietness, otherwise we can go ahead and we have the place fairly quiet. Are we ready now? We have to hear more silence. Okay. Well, firstly, it's Céad Míle Fáilte go Fellan Malla. I'd like to welcome every one of you that has come here tonight for this unique occasion in our history. For us, it's a very special occasion in the sense that we have published a book to herald our coming into the new millennium. I would like to give a very warm welcome to our special guests tonight. They're a bit camera shy, they're down here at the side. John Mahan, our Millennium Officer. And our very own, Peter Carter, President of the All-Ireland Handball Council. And I don't know, is there any need to introduce to you our local curate, Father Pat Donlan. And John Mahan, as manager of the Mayo team, he instilled a wonderful spirit of pride in County Mayo. One of the words that I think that John associated, or we associate with John using, was the word focus. He told the Mayo lads, focus on winning, focus on the ball, and focus on getting the right score on the scoreboard. Last April, a group of people from this locality came together and they focused on a job to be done. It was the job of welcoming the new millennium by publishing a book. And tonight I think you will see the fruits of their labour in this 160-page book with lots of pictures and lots of interesting articles written by you, the people of the Killawalla community. As we speak about long speeches, I was reminded there a few minutes ago by a very eloquent person who said to me, Tom, don't have any long speeches tonight because you're a bit like Moses, you're preparing the way for greater speakers to come. And talking about long speeches, I remember the time when the missionaries used to come to Killawalla, but they won't come fairly soon. But when the missionaries used to come to Killawalla back in the good old days, when they're making a speech or a sermon, they would take off their watch, like this. You'll all remember that, they take it off, and we'd be down there watching them, and they'd wind it. And the one fellow beside me used to say, you know, he won't keep us long tonight. And, you know, then about half an hour after he'd take up the watch, and we thought he was going to finish him. And he'd leave it down again, and I suppose about 15 minutes later we might, after a good nod off, we'd wake up when he'd say, the Lord be with you. And we'd say, the Lord be with you too, Pharaoh. So, if you see any of the speakers tonight taking off their watches, beware. Now, I would like to introduce you to Father Pat Donlan, our local curate, a man who has been a great source of inspiration and encouragement to the people of the Killawalla community since he came here a number of years ago. Give a big welcome to Father Pat Donlan.
Thanks, Tom, for the lovely idea. Mr. Chairperson, distinguished guests, friends, parishioners, ladies and gentlemen, I won't detain you too long because I have already bored some of you in church at 7 o'clock this evening, so I'm conscious of that. So all I'd say is that it was a cold winter's night when we gathered here on the first Tuesday of March, some months back, in this exact centre, and I can tell you there was no wine, and there was no blooming cheese, or there was no nice buns or tea or anything. And it was a public meeting called about a Millennium magazine. And it was called because for weeks before that, there was all sorts of groups, ladies' group, community councils, and Feroigas and boards of management, GA, all talking about this wonderful idea of having a Millennium magazine. So the public meeting was called, and there was many a meeting after that. And anyone that had talents or gifts or anything to say or contribute were all invited along. And I'm afraid I'll have to only say, in case you think I can take any credit for this book, that was the last meeting I was at. Through my fault. And at that meeting, a dedicated group of people, a committee, set about with the help of many, many more. So began the birth of our Millennium book. And tonight's readings in the church, we're all about using your talents and using your gifts. And all I want to say tonight is well done to the people who unselfishly gave of time night after night after night. The people who contributed to make the 160 pages worth looking at, and it really is a gem. But more especially the people who put it all together by the use of their talent. The only other thing I want to say is I'm really pleased that the Millennium Officer, John Mahan, is here to launch our book. I really am. We welcomed him in the church earlier because we all know John from his work with Mayo football. And what he mightn't be aware of is what he might be doing wonderful and great work which we all admired and continue to admire in that job. Maybe on a day when you're lining up the lads, getting them ready, I might be over doing sick calls from Glenmask all the way down to Capricorn on Trashgate. And there were people there, older people, who would never get to Croke Park. And all that was in their mind was, how will Mayo do? It was the Connacht final or Croke Park, and it gave a lift to their spirits and it raised their hearts, the young and the old, when Mayo was doing well. And John, I just want to say thank you for that, even though well done. Well, it's in his capacity as Millennium Officer that he's here to launch our book, and he's escorted by his lovely daughter, Tresson. Stand up there, Tresson, where you are. We'll see her. There she is, lovely girl, be nice to her. She too, please God, will be the manager of the men's football team someday. Now, finally, I just want to say that tonight, it's not as cold as it was back in last March. There's loads of wine, plenty of cheese. We're all in good form. It's a night to celebrate. And I'd like to thank most sincerely everybody who helped to put our Millennium book together, to use your talents or gifts so that others can read and enjoy, which I have done today. Browsing through it is really uplifting. You deserve wonderful, wonderful credit for what you have done. And before the final thank you, before Mass this evening, John Mahan said to me, he says, I know the real reason you're scutched, I think, I want to call it out here, is because you might be looking for some funding for the Millennium book, or for the Millennium Shrine and Garden of Remembrance across in the church. And I assured him that that was not the ulterior or sinister motive. But I will say, though, if you have any good news for us, it will be greatly welcome. So well done, everybody. I'm delighted. I speak on behalf of the community, not as one who contributed or helped put it all together, as one who had a quick browse through. It's really a beautiful production. So on behalf of the community, to everyone involved, well done. Thank you very much.
I'm a little bit like a best man at a wedding tonight. I think there's a couple of messages here to call out. It's not any good wishes to the bride and groom or anything like that, but it's apologies. And we've received apologies from of the principal of the local national school, Martin O'Martin, and also we've received an apology here from Des Mahan, the county manager. Also, I think we've received apologies from Teresa McKevley, and Maudie McConnell and Paddy Joe Foy. So now we will move on to our next speaker. It's not often that we have presidents in Killawalla. We might have managers, millennium officers, but tonight we honour and welcome one of our own, the President of the All-Ireland Handball Association, Mr. Peter Carter from Killawalla.
Did you see Father Don? When we came sitting here first, Father Don said to me, I said, I wonder how long the speech is going to be. Well, he says, I bet you a tenner, he said, that you'll speak 5 minutes. Because he said, I know myself, he said, from sermons and what have you, that it goes more than 5 minutes. And I said, right, the bet is on. £10, we'll see how we get on. And did you see what he did? He took off his watch to mean so-and-so. He tried to dupe me, you know. But anyway, it's more than another thumbs, among winter fame, winter Killawalla note. Con an hour millennium shot, a cur or for gore, don Kedo. August, Pastor of him, no before the morale, Tommy Keenche. Go on me, Nadini, Elaine and our shop, go on if you canvas, make scales that is na county, August na scales startled at all. I am delighted, as a member of the Killawalla community, to be asked here tonight and to say a few words. I'm delighted as well that the sport that I love myself and I learned as a young boy, that as president of the Handball Association of the GAA, that I'm asked to say a few words. And when I think back, I think of the community that I grew up in. And when I think back, I have to thank, and I think we all should thank, and I think of all the people that are no longer with us, because I think they built a community spirit here that you don't find in a lot of other places. And I say that because down the years I've been involved in lots of little bits and pieces around here, and I know this help and I know the support that you get from people in the locality when you want anything done. And especially if you're in charge of any group and you want help, all you have to do is just put out the word and help will be available. And I don't think that you can buy that anywhere. And because I was elected president of the Irish Handball Association, I owe an awful lot to you people, the people of Killawalla, because I feel that I got support and I still can get support. And I know that 5.5 years ago I got great support. I will never forget you for. So I say to you, and I say the Hare Working Committee that put all the data together for the Millennium magazine. It wasn't an easy task. Like Father Donlan, I attended the first meeting, I missed the second, I attended the third, and I didn't get a chance to attend a meeting after that. But that it went on without me, it went on without Father Donlan. That's the kind of people we have in Killawalla, and I think you deserve a round of applause. Give yourselves a round. With that, all I say is, muchas gracias to everybody. Thanks for your support, and the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katie, for all those nice tributes. If I knew that he was placing a bet with Father Donlan, I would have held it to £10 and we give him a book to the winner of the prize. A nice idea. So then the highlight of the night has arrived, and I would like now to call on our Millennium Officer, John Mahan, to officially launch Killawalla, the road to our hearts. John Mahan.
Very briefly, first of all, I want to thank the committee for bestowing the honour on me to launch the bouquet this evening. Before I do that, I just want to mention a few things. I'm sure some of you are wondering what exactly does a Millennium Officer do, what my onerous task is from November of this year to December of next. I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Des Mahan spotted me walking down the corridor one day and said, "Come here, I have a job for you." And unfortunately or fortunately, that's how I ended up as Millennium Officer. And I just very briefly give you a small brief as to what my brief is for next year. Basically, I'm a facilitator. Any events that are being organised or coordinated, events like this, it is my task and pleasant responsibility to attend functions like this where I feel exceptionally welcome. And I've also had a responsibility in recent weeks where I had some money, I was part of a committee rather, in allocating and deciding where some money will be spent in Millennium events. And we had 186, I think, returned applications for funding. And we arbitrated and decided with members of Mayo County Council, or councillors rather, during the week. And I don't know whether it's my responsibility or maybe some of the politicians here present, but I know for a fact, I can let you into a little secret, even though it isn't ultimately decided yet, but Killawalla certainly is one of the 70 that will be receiving some funding. So, just to enlighten you, there are a couple of events that I'm asked to support during the year, but one thing I do know that's happening, and you probably have read about it, is that you might have seen something about a last light ceremony. It is envisaged that every household in the country will get this famous Millennium Candle, which will present a major headache for postmen and mistresses around the place. But anyway, it is envisaged that there will be a last light ceremony held in most communities. And last night, of course, on Friday the 31st, will happen in Killawalla about 4:20. And I think there will be nothing nicer than the community to gather and have some sort of a ceremony, be it in the church or in the community centre here, or indeed in the grounds of the community centre, weather permitting. But it is envisaged and encouraged that each local community, rather than gathering in Castlebar, or Malin Castlebar, or some big town, that each small parish will have their own little gate to ring out the old and ring in the new. So that's something you might consider. I know all centenarians are going to be awarded with some special memento, possibly early in the new millennium, and new arrivals, anyone that's expecting to deliver, and there are 9 expected in Mayo on the 1st of January, will also receive some funding. So that's something, if I don't know if there's any from Killawalla. But that's just my function. As I say, there are a number of events happening next year in the County of Mayo, and I'm sure it'll be promoted in the local press. But just to conclude, I want to thank in particular the committee here. I also want to thank Father Pat for inviting me out here this evening to say the reading at Mass, and I'm honoured and privileged. I know there's a fantastic community spirit. All you have to do is walk to the church grounds and see the wonderful, the way the church grounds is done up in itself. I know Father Pat has a project ongoing across the road with the Millennium Garden, and one thing and another. And then when you come down here and see the warm welcome we get, particularly from the Ladies Committee, and it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge and thank them most sincerely for the warm hospitality and for all the work they've done down there tonight. Tom mentioned earlier about that word focus. We didn't obviously focus right to the very, very end on the couple of occasions when we should have, and we won't talk too much about that because it's history now, but suffice to say that I was managing the Mayo team for 4 years, and I always felt it a privilege and an honour to be involved with great footballers, and unfortunately we didn't achieve the ultimate, and that's a cross I'll have to live with, and we as footballers here will have to bear for the rest of our lives until it happens. But at the same time, I was absolutely delighted to see our ladies winning. They were absolutely terrific, and I was in Dublin to see them winning, and they played with such swagger in the band. Without further ado, the match is over, so there's no panic. I don't know how it went, but I was hoping Father Pat would have had a screen up at the church there. It certainly had everybody focusing in the one direction, had that here at 7. But without further ado, I just want to officially launch the new magazine here. I think it's costing £10. I believe the first run of, is it 5,000 have been sold already? You're in profit anyway at this stage, Pat, I think. But I just declare the Millennium book officially launched. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John Mahan. I bet you remembered a lot of his speech, but you remembered most of all the little bit about the money he was given. And about the grant for the new arrivals. It might be a bit late to start now. I mean the new arrivals of magazines now, in case you're getting it wrong. So, seeing that he's given us the money, we'll give him one drink before he goes. And I'll ask one of our barmen back there, Dermot Carter, to come up and give us a hand to pop the bottle on the champagne. I know some of you might like to pop the question with all the nice ladies around here tonight, but we're ready to pop the bottle. The new arrival of the Killawalla, the road to our hearts. Just before we go, we're not finished yet. When you're drinking, you need something to eat, so we have Millennium cake here, and we're going to ask our president, no less than a president, to cut the Millennium cake. So I'm going to ask Peter now to cut the Millennium cake. Nice. To take photographs, you will take them up before we put away the cake. Okay. So the next, a little bit of quietness now, the ceremony is coming to an end. So the next part of the ceremony is we'll present, seeing that he's given us a few pounds, I think he deserves the book. John Mahan. So we'll ask Peter Carter, our President, to present the Millennium Officer with the first book, Killawalla, The Road to Your Heart, our heart. Keep the launch going ahead, and the next part of the launch is the presentation of a book to Mary Conway here, branch librarian at Castlebar Library, and Michael Welch, the treasurer, the man that been minding all these £10 notes for us, will present the book. Okay, we are coming to the final part of the launch. I'm sure many of you now are anxious to get the book, and it'll be on sale in the hall shortly. So a little bit of quietness again before we wind down the final part of the launch. It's a time to say thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank our Millennium Magazine Committee. What a wonderful committee they were to work with. As chairperson, I never had to call any of them to order. If we all to be married together, it'd be a happy marriage. If we were Muslims, I don't think it would work otherwise. Father Donnan mightn't allow it. I would like to thank our Millennium Officer, first of all, for coming here tonight, and second of all, for announcing the good news. Father Donnan might be announcing the church, but he's announcing it here also. I'd like to thank especially all the people who advertised in our magazine. It's not possible to produce a magazine without advertisers or sponsors. And just a special word of thanks to the Castlebar Credit Union who have sponsored this launch tonight. I would like to thank every single one of you, whether you're here, at home or abroad, who wrote an article or submitted a photograph. I would like to thank Seamus and Damien Cashin of Cashin Printers, and if I can single out one of the staff in Cashin Printers, and she's here tonight, Doreen Fahey, one of our own. Her mother came from Kinnoury. Why wouldn't she be good? A big round of applause. The design, the magazine really was designed by one of our own, well, we claim our own tonight, Doreen Fahey from Westport. I would like to thank everybody that was here this afternoon and helped in any way for the preparation of tonight's ceremony. And there was a lot of people here this afternoon. Whether they helped fixing lights, putting up balloons, getting food ready or whatever, I'd like to thank them. like to thank a very special group of people, our ladies, the catering staff down there. You don't see them, but you'll be tasting their food during the night. They've done a wonderful job in preparing the food and the distribution of it. I would also like to thank our temporary bar staff down there, who did an excellent job in dispensing the wine. I hope there was one for everyone in the audience. I would like to thank as well one of our own, Sean Carter, Killawalla, for his help in securing many of the ads for our magazine. And I would like to thank everyone who has come here tonight, who has made the effort. I know there's a big match on, but this is more important than the big match. I want to thank everyone who has come here tonight. I think it's wonderful to see so many people, and so many people who are formerly from Killawalla. In case I've left out anyone, and I don't suppose I have, I hope I've not, I want to thank, indeed, everyone who made any contribution, big, little or small, to the publication of this magazine, and helped in any way. Finally, I would like to say, enjoy the book. It's your book. You can be proud of it. And again, a sincere thanks to everyone who helped to make this night such a success. Thank you very much. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but John Mahan doesn't often whisper into your ear. Maybe when he's going to confession to Father Donnelly he might whisper. But he told me that if you buy the book tonight, he'll try and organise a refund, maybe if he gets the grant. You might get the VAT back on it, a bit like the farmers who are building this little house. So just again, we'll finish up by saying the book will be on sale up here at both sides and hopefully at the back as well. So thank you again to everybody. God bless, good reading and safe home.
right. Get a cap. Look at me. And again. That's right. That's great.